I'd like to stay on the subject that you just finished discussing, the actual recent contaminated peanut product recall. Let's go back to the beginning, because I think we all know that if we can stop a contaminated product from even leaving or even being produced, we're going to save a lot of money, and we're going to save a lot of small businesses, a lot of financial burden, a lot of headaches. So as we look at this entire scenario of what happened at the Peanut Corporation of America, what regulatory failures led to this incident? Can you give me some specifics about exactly what could have been done to prevent the scenario from happening?
Thank you for the question. So this facility at PCA, we've now uncovered, and we've through the subsequent inspections, that they knew about some problems associated with salmonella in this facility. FDA does not have routine access to those type records. In fact, we had to issue some authorities we have under the Bioterrorism Act that Congress passed previously, a request to actually get all the records from this firm. In order for us to get those type records, we need to be in a situation where there's a significant consequence or adverse health effects. So a very severe outbreak situation in order for FDA to have access to those type records. So that's one of the requests when I just mentioned some of the authorities we're looking at is routine access for such records is one of the aspects that we think would be important. The other issues relate to our request. FDA issued a food protection plan last year and is looking for greater preventive controls. We all recognize that the recalls is a reactive piece, and we all want to get into the preventive controls aspect. So right now there are GMPs that apply, but trying to analyze what the hazards are in different type facilities and then how you control those hazards is not one of the controls that is currently done in this type facility. We do those type of controls in the area of seafood and juice controls. So one of the other areas is greater preventive controls we're looking for.
So no physical, a lot of the testing or a lot of the inspection is visual when you go into these plants at this point.
It's records, it's a visual examination, and it's a sampling.
Okay, so you do sampling.
We do sampling. What we've learned from these is that traditionally a product like a peanut butter manufacturer is a plant that's has a very dry environment. And dry environments don't allow really for the growth of bacteria like salmonella traditionally. We've learned through the previous ConAgra and this recent one that the introduction of moisture into a dry plant allows for the opportunity of these bacteria to grow. So that's changed our inspectional approach, and what we'd like firms to be doing is doing a lot of environmental testing, because testing finished product does not give you the entire answer, because the bacteria only periodically develops in the finished products. So extensive controlling of your environment, making sure that it stays in a dry environment in the case of a plant like this, are critical to try and control those hazards. That's part of the kind of preventive controls we're looking for.
Because I'm just trying to understand, I have a background. I was a dietitian for over 25 years, so I've been in lots of facilities where food has been produced or food has been served, and knowing that visually you have to do physical testing, to be able to really see if there is some. You can look at a doorknob and it looks fine, but we all know what could be on a doorknob. So that's what I guess I'm getting at. What kind of physical testing is being? There is really no mandatory physical testing at this point, or
there's no controls required on the firms to do that type testing. That would be part of a more elaborate preventive control program. FDA's inspectional approaches do include environmental testing. So when you go into such a facility, and that we did it during the recent inspection of PCA, taking several hundred environmental samples to try and understand what type of bacteria, pathogens may be in such a facility, in addition to looking at testing some of finished products. But to
And that
rely
was
on-
after the fact.
That was after
Yeah.
the fact.
Okay. So prior to that, I'm just trying to get down to the basics on any food production company. It's all really up to them in terms of what they do, in terms of physical testing. And the FDA comes in and does mostly visual testing, looks at records.
We have changed our procedures and are doing more and more environmental testing when we learn the unique conditions such as a plant. So we've now going through all other plants similar to PCA and having an inspectional approach to do fairly extensive environmental testing, finished product testing, in addition to records and the observations.
Okay. Thank you.